Did you know that mummies are one of the oldest mysteries in the world? In ancient Egypt, they were the original masterminds behind the art of preservation. Mummification was like a big party for the dead, but instead of cake and balloons, they had a lot of creepy stuff like jars full of organs and bandages. The Egyptians believed that when you died, your soul went on a wild adventure, and resins to some more unusual stuff like palm wine and even human brains. Mummification was such a big deal to the ancient Egyptians that they did it even to their pets. They believed that by preserving the body, they were helping the soul get back to its home, which meant that the soul could rest in peace and the person could be reborn. It's super salty and totally dried out the body, turning it into a leather-like material that lasted for centuries. Palm wine, the sweet and fermented juice from palm trees, was used to wash the organs and the body to purify it for the afterlife. Myrrh and frankincense, special tree resins that smelled amazing and were considered sacred. They used these to make the body smell good and to help the soul recognize it. Resins and oils, substances like beeswax, bitumen and cedar oil were used to cover up the smell of decay and keep the body from rotting. Linen, the most common material used to wrap the mummy. It was cheap, easy to work with, and lasted a long time. Amulets and charms, magical objects that were supposed to protect the body from evil spirits. They were usually made from things like precious metals, gemstones, or animal parts, Brian. Believe it or not, the Egyptians used brains in their mummification process. They didn't use it for any special brain surgery, though. Instead, they just scooped it out to get rid of it. They even put amulets and spells on the mummies to protect them from evil spirits. Their techniques were so advanced that they managed to keep their dead alive for thousands of years. And it's not just because they were super smart. It's also because they had some pretty wild beliefs about the afterlife. Let me tell you all about it. Part 1. What is mummification? Part 2. The process of mummification. The process of making a mummy was kind of like a production line at a spooky factory. The first step was to remove all the guts, like the lungs, stomach, and intestines. Those went into special jars with fancy lids. Then they took out the brain, which they considered useless since the person was going to be dead. They used a special hook to suck it out through the nose. That sounds painful just thinking about it. After that, the body got a bath in palm wine to make it all clean and fragrant. Next, they covered the body with natron, a natural salt that sucked out all the moisture and turned the body into a dehydrated piece of leather. This stage took 40 days, and during that time, the workers would turn the body over every day to make sure it dried evenly. Once it was all dried out, they packed the body with stuff like linen, sawdust, or resin soaked in oils. They did this to make the body look normal again, since all that drying out made it shrink and sag. Then came the fun part, wrapping the body in bandages. They used to wrap it in layers of linen, kind of like a giant burrito, and sometimes they'd add amulets or charms to protect the body from evil spirits. The whole process took about 70 days. And it was a real team effort. Priests wearing masks of Anubis, the god of embalming, carefully performed each step, making sure that everything was perfect for the resurrection. Part 3. Materials used. The Egyptians used all sorts of materials to make their mummies, from the usual stuff like bandages. Part 4. Why mummification was so important.